contestant Chirag 426220892, the reference number.
Check. So, hello ladies and gentlemen. Are you all here with me? This is the last talk of the day. One more is still there. Okay, fine. Sorry for that. Okay. We are almost to the end of this competition. So, yeah. So, are you all here with all your energy? Okay, fine. Now, when I said good morning for the first time, how many of you heard me with all your mind and soul and gave attention to it? A few of you responded. I could hear a few of you respond. But now, if I say again that I have a golden pen here and I'm going to give it to the one who gives the best good morning of this day, almost everyone here would be shouting for it. Because it's a golden pen. Actually, it's not. But if it is. So, what makes you respond? It is the trigger here which I give. The trigger here which I gave was the golden pen, for which you all would have responded. Now, my question to all of you here is, at what level do you play the game of your life? I said the game of your life. I say life is a game. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you had to say at what level do you play the game of your life? If you say level 10, well and good, you can achieve anything. If you say you play the game of your life at level 4 or level 5, then you will get only level 4 from your life. My question to all of you here, how many of you give level 10 to your life? Very few of you, or maybe I can say no one here. All of you here are almost engineering students sitting behind. Now, before we prepare for exams, even before we start preparing, we decide, oh, I need to get only 70% of marks. I need to get only 80. We study for what? We study for 70 or 80%. And what does it turn up? We get 65 or 55%. We get lesser than what we expect. We prepare for 70%, we expect 80 or 90%, which doesn't happen. So, now, if you had to work for whatever you can, you could have given the best you can. It wasn't you, it wasn't your teacher who asked you, you should get only 70%. It was you who decided your level. It was you who decided at what level you're going to play your game of your life. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't give the best, you don't get the best. Because what you give is what you get, and what you get is what you deserve. Now, when we don't give our best, what happens? We don't succeed. Or in other words, I can say, we fail. We fail. We fail with our goals. And what happens after we fail? What happens after we fail? We start blaming. We start blaming whom? Our luck. Oh, I wasn't so lucky. That's why I couldn't do it. We say, we blame our situations. Oh, someone close to me had passed away. That's why I couldn't do it. We blame our health conditions. We keep blaming. But blaming, has it given you the best? Has it motivated you? No, blaming doesn't motivate. It depends on how you see it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I ask you all, think of one most difficult situation which you have faced in your life. Think of just one difficult situation which you have faced in your life. It may be anything. I may not know. It might be something you would have been betrayed by someone. You could have lost someone. You would have been out of money or something. I may not know. But think of one difficult situation which you have faced in your life. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming back to the present, what happened after that? What happened after that? Did you all bounce back with the force with which you were pulled down? Or did you say, Oh, this is not my level. I need a break. Was that your attitude? If you bounce back with a force greater than with which you are pulled down, you can achieve success. Now what if I say I have a glass bowl in my hand? I throw it onto the wall. What happens to the glass ball? It breaks, it shatters. Now what if I say I take an apple and throw it onto the wall? What happens to the apple? The apple gets hurt. It falls down. Now what if I say I take a cork ball into my hand and throw it onto the wall? The cork ball will bounce back. It will bounce back. Now what if I say I throw a ping pong ball? I hope you all know what a ping pong ball is. What if I say I throw a ping pong ball onto the wall? That will bounce with a force greater than that of a cork ball. So ladies and gentlemen, these are the 4 different stages with which you can respond to the pullbacks of your life. It depends on how you see your life. It depends on how you play the game of your life. So ladies and gentlemen, now the question comes, what can be done to improve the game of our life? To improve the level at which we play the game of our life? Can it be improved? Yes, it can be. I can say definitely it can be. How is the question now? First thing you have to do is you should stop blaming. You should stop blaming your situations, your health conditions, your luck, whatever. You should stop blaming. Because when you find excuses, you will not be able to move forward. You will be pulling back yourself with the excuses you give. The second thing I would say, you should take up responsibilities. You should work for whatever you need. Because no one else can do it for you. So you should take responsibilities in whatever you do. Now, when I came to this college, I saw APJ Abdul Kalam's photo everywhere. Do you think that man hasn't faced pullbacks in his life? Do you think that man hasn't faced any difficulties in his life? No. Even he has faced difficulties in his life. Every single person who rises has faced difficulties in their life. What he did when he faced all those pullbacks, he was continuously committed. He was committed to what he wanted to do. He never pulled back himself. So if you want to achieve success, if you want to play the game of your life at level 10, that is the maximum of whatever you can, you need to be committed continuously. You need to give your commitment continuously despite your pullbacks. Now, I want to ask you all a simple question. How many of you here know Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi? Raise your hands, yes or no? Yeah, a few of you haven't raised your hands. I guess they haven't seen the Indian currency notes. Well, apart from that, how many of you here know Mahatma Gandhi? Raise your hands. Everyone says it's the same person. But what if I say they are not the same person? Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi belonged to a rich family. He went to England first. He became a barrister. He came back to India. He didn't succeed in India as a barrister. He went to South Africa, and then we all know what happened there, the incident of his life. He was sitting in a first-class compartment train, and he was thrown out of the train saying that he did not deserve to be in a compartment like that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, then he decided, you threw me out of your train, I'll throw you out of my country. And then he became a Mahatma. Ladies and gentlemen, you can all put your hands together for him. Now, you will say that he was a great person. We are not so great. Now, what if I can prove it to you in the next 60 seconds that everyone sitting here has a Mahatma in you? Everyone sitting here has a Mahatma in you. Answer the simple question to yourself. Will you let your child die of hunger? No, certainly not. Why? Because you'll say you love him. You'll say it is your responsibility. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are so committed that you can have that kind of continuous commitment to not let a child die of hunger, you have a Mahatma in you, and you can play the game of your life at level 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my wrap up. And again, if you ask me, who are the other people who play the game of your life, of their life at level 10? Ladies and gentlemen, it's your parents, it's your mother, or it's your father who do whatever they can, who do the game of their life at level 10 to give you the best. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
But I'm just trying to connect what you had in your mind and how you wanted to share that to us. I can understand that leading a life, pulling back, all that, but I think many of us would have missed what you really had in your mind. It was like too many things you were groping around and all that. It's just that.
Yeah, actually, I had to cut down a few things to cover everything in 10 minutes of gap.
I think you talked more from a perspective of having your self-confidence high,
Yes,
so
sir.
that you're able to play your game of life at a higher gear. Am I right?
At level 10, I said.
Level
Yeah.
10. Okay, right. So you mentioned about that, the 4 things being thrown on the wall.
Onto the wall, yes.
Okay. So you were talking about glass ball, apple, cork ball, and
Ping pong ball.
Ping pong ball, right? So how do you encourage your students here, your youth here, your colleagues here, to play it on the highest level? What are the 1 or 2 things that they must do, and what are the 1 or 2 things they should not do? Because you talked about blaming, no excuses, all that I got it. But
Yes,
is
sir.
there anything else you would like to give?
See, basically, I would say a human brain is designed to accept both the positives and negatives. Whenever you face a trigger that whatever can push you up, you see it in 2 different perspectives. One part of your brain would say that, yes, I've got a new trigger, I can achieve more height, and yes, I can do it. And the other part would say, oh, there's one more trigger, I need a break, I'm tired. If you get tired so soon with whatever you have achieved, you're not going to be successful. As you all say, Bill Gates is successful. If you want to be someone who is known throughout the world and you're satisfied with less, how is that even possible?
Okay, so if I have been a person who's playing the glass bowl every day till today, and I want to get to playing the ping pong from tomorrow, you are talking about the Mahatma also, where you
Yes.
talked
Yeah.
about the transformation
Yes, sir.
from the earlier Mahatma to a new Mahatma, correct? And you
Yes.
said it is possible, and you connected with various examples.
Yes, sir.
So what are the things that I should do? See, as a student, you look at it from a youth perspective, because the reason I'm saying is that transformation can happen only internal.
Yes,
See,
definitely.
any kind of advice will not help. So what is it that I can do, a person of your age can do from tomorrow onwards, to make things better for their life and get into this higher gear of 10th gear? Okay?
Yeah. As an individual, we all face failures in our life. So, if you think that you have attained a failure and sit at the same level, you can't achieve the level 10 which I'm talking about. You have to learn from your mistakes. Now, if I say everyone here has got to make 100 mistakes of life, and you should be committed that you will not make the same mistake again. I make one mistake, you don't make any mistake. Who's leading? I have 99 left, you have 100 left. Who's leading now? Because here I say I have made a mistake and I have learned something which I will not repeat. You have to learn something from your mistakes. And you should make sure that you don't repeat it again in your life.
Yeah, it's a good speech, Chirag.
Yes,
And,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to add on to whatever John stated. So his point is, what do that we can make a difference? How we can make a difference from a youth perspective, student perspective, right? Yeah. So on that perspective, when you say there is a trigger and things, right? So there are two aspects to it. One is the conscious and unconscious, because that is what plays overall, in terms of game of life.
Yes, sir.
And because consciously something, we know, and there are certain unconscious.
Yes,
that will
definitely.
try to pull you down, right? So that unconsciously, we have to embed certain things, and to bring, if there is a negativity in the unconscious level, so unless you remove it, and so you cannot play the game well, right?
Yes.
And so have you thought anything about it? Unconscious and the conscious. There are a lot of talks and thoughts and books around it.
Yeah. So there are two parts of brain. One is conscious and another is subconscious. Now you cannot train your brain to respond subconsciously in one day. It is something which you learn throughout your life. It is something which you learn from whatever you do into your life. If you stay positive throughout your life, consciously and automatically, that subconscious mind inside you will always trigger positiveness within you. If you say that you have got to see only the negatives, now what if I say this whole wall, this whole ceiling is white, and I throw black ink over there? Everyone's eyes will go and see that black ink, because that's a spot over there. No one is going to appreciate the whole white wall. We have to see things differently. We have to see whatever we see should be perceived in a positive perspective. Now, if we get low marks in exam, are we satisfied? Some of us say, oh yes, I'm satisfied with this. I just passed. I just gone through the exam. Now, how many of you here would be saying that, why did I get this mark? What was my mistake in this? And how many of you here would take steps to correct yourself so that you don't commit your mistake, you don't commit that same mistake next time? You have to bring in that kind of attitude in you.
Yeah. Thanks, Chirag.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chirag. We'll call the final contestant, Ms. Sharana.